we say hello to him once again on the program. There he is, Teofimo Lopez. Hello, Teofimo. How are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Ariel?
I'm doing really well. Thank you very much for coming on and giving us some time. Do you like this spot? Thursday isn't a typical night, but I think it's pretty darn cool to be kind of involved in Super Bowl week. Do you like this opportunity that you got when it was presented to you?
Well, I actually, leading up to this, I asked for it,
Oh.
So,
Okay, your
you
idea.
ask, you shall receive. Yeah, this is my idea, but I got to thank Top Rank, ESPN, and everyone that's contributed into this, especially that Mandalay Bay. We're actually sharing the NFL experience as well. So this is great. This is a great opportunity for myself, and I look forward to give everyone a show on Thursday night.
And what about that view you have right over there? Allegiant Stadium right behind you, home of the Super Bowl. That's not a bad view. Well done.
Not yet. Thank you. It's been a long time coming, two-time lineal world champion, in two weight divisions. And I mean, this is what you get when you're the best, so I look forward to giving everyone, something that they miss in the sport of boxing. The MMA, you guys are killing it. Everyone's killing it in that field. And I'm just here to come back to make boxing great again.
When you beat Josh Taylor, and what a performance, and I want to ask you about that in a moment, was someone like Jermaine Ortiz on your radar, or were you hoping for someone else as your next opponent, as your first defense of this belt?
Well, to be real, no, I really wanted somebody else. I didn't want to fight and face Jermaine Ortiz, not because he's not good. However, there's other bigger fish that I have my eyes on right now. I'm looking at trying to beat these other world champions that are in my division, but so it be, no one wanted to face me. So I have to get somebody else. This guy is hungry. He wants to take what I have and what I fought for a long time, and that's Jermaine Ortiz. He's not someone to look over. He's 17-1, and his toughest fights that he's had, he's always prevailed, at least to show that he can stand with the best, and one of his recents being Vasily Lomachenko.
I know you have a history. You fought him in the Golden Glove several years ago. You beat him. But I've seen recently he posted something where he ripped the poster and ripped your part of the poster up. What did you make of that whole scene?
Well, I think it's just someone that's just trying to get through my head, mainly. I got experience. I'm coming from that kind of mentality. I don't want to say experience as far as fighting goes, but it's good. It's good for everybody. If that's how they feel, that's how they feel. I think that when it comes to it, though, talk is cheap. And, he's going to find out the hard way when we're under those bright lights. So, it's a part of whatever it is, man. Some people get carried away and forget where they actually, the privilege and what it takes to get here. So sometimes you just got to remind them with these punches.
Leading up to the Josh Taylor fight mid last year, there was a lot of drama, a lot of noise surrounding you. And it feels like this time there's very little drama. Like, it's pretty drama free. Is that a fair assessment of where you're at going into this fight as opposed to when we last saw you?
Oh, yeah, I could definitely say that. I think all those things had to happen the way they did. Ariel, I think that when it comes to it, it's all about persistence. It's all about perseverance, and it's all about being patient with everything. So, I question myself in that fight as well when I faced Sandor Martin. And, I had to so I could perform the way I did against Josh Taylor. And I took those moments out, 6 months out, called the retirement thing just because, I'm such a menace to my sport that, I have to find ways, loopholes to protect my own legacy, So with that being said, I look forward to coming back. I know that the boxing world needs me, whether they like it or not. It is what it is, because no one is as elusive like me. I think that no one performs the way I do. No one has seen punches the way I do them, and it's not because I'm special. It's more so because I just work on my craft and I try to perfect it, and I dance when I'm in the ring.
So why did you retire? Why did you actually do that after the fight?
I could go into a political state. However, that's not going to do me anything. So I'll probably just say it in more of a personal state. And that's really just being with my son. I fought 3 times in the past 10 months prior to that. So I didn't get to really see my son. I missed his first steps. I missed his first crawls, and me as his father now that the Lord blessed me with, I want to embrace that and enjoy that. Fatherhood, I believe, is the best hood in the world. So, that's really why, I did what I had to do on top of that. I mean, 2-time undisputed world champion, the first male to do it. Whether they try to write it off, I did it first, and I did it all in the nick at 25 years young. And the reason why people want to write it off is because they compare themselves to my legacy to theirs, and they never done it. They didn't do it this fast. So what more do I have to prove in the sport of that I love? I think when it comes to it, and I hang up these gloves for real, I just got to wait 3 years, and I'm in the Hall of Fame.
But
it's all good.
But you didn't have any real intention of retiring, right? That there were reasons why you did it, but like there was no part of you that thought you had fought your last fight, right?
I had every intention to fucking pull out of this shit. I had every intention. And because it's not it's just like the NFL. Shit is getting scripted.
Do you think there's a chance Shakur Stevenson is never going to fight again as well, or do you think he is doing a similar? Obviously, the reasons may be different, but do you think this is kind of similar in that regard?
I'm not Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah.
It's you know what I'm saying? I'm not him. If that's what he's doing and he really means it, then so be it. If he's trying to copy Teofimo, it's not gonna go as well. You know what I'm saying? Because I did it first. It's like Ray J. I hit it first. It's never be the same. So whatever it be. I think that when it comes to it all, I wish him nothing but the best. I think that, and I said this in a prior interview on ESPN. I'll say here as well, because you know your stuff. You know your stuff very well. I just say to him, if that's something that you plan on doing, just work on your emotions. That's what I'm doing. In those 6 months, not only did I focus on my son, I was still training. However, I was working on one particular thing that you need to master in the combat world and in entertainment world, and that's your emotions. If you can't fix that nor catch yourself in these moments, you're gonna have a harder road. And I think for Shakur, with such great talent that he has to learn how to not just master his emotions, but also when he gets in that ring, take some punches to give some. You're gonna get hurt maybe sometimes, but that's part of the sport that you signed up for.
Do you think you have mastered controlling your emotions, and if so, how? How did you figure that out?
Well, I don't want to say I mastered, but because every day we learn something new and another challenge comes through, and I think that I'm mastering it, and how is by right in those nick of moments, I just take deep breaths. The breath is what gives the mind space to think, and mind and mindfulness is everything. So, as me, 26 young now, I'm 26 years young now, and I just breathing exercises. People tend to upset me at times. Things sometimes don't go my way, and I have to just take deep breaths in those moments, and I feel much better, surprisingly.
Okay.
So, and with my son, he teaches me more patience. I already had it with my sport of boxing. And I think a lot of us fighters and great champions, we really get it in the combat world is patience and discipline. So, I'm just adding more to it. And when things get riled up, it's kind of like this is supposed to be what it is. It's how I react to it that makes the difference.
I like talking to you, Teofimo, because you keep it real. You shoot straight, and I appreciate that. And so I want to shoot straight with you. And I'm sure you saw some of this in the lead up to your fight against Josh Taylor, and in particular on the day of the fight, the morning of the fight. I saw a lot on Twitter, people saying, this man isn't fit to fight. They should call the fight off. I saw boxing Twitter really like being vocal about the fact that you didn't seem to be in the right state to fight. Why do you think they were saying that? And do you feel like any of that was valid?
Well, none of that is valid. They don't really know me. I mean, the boxing world could be boxing, but you can't have boxing without the best fighter that knows and respects the sport. See, a lot of these fighters and a lot of these people and analysts and all that don't know shit about boxing. And they really don't. And I only wanted to come back here to educate the next generation and how it works. And by doing so, you get stuff like this right across the view. You know, I mean, this is the biggest stage in all of not in just United States of America, and that's thumbs up.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's like, yo, this is the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and we got the super fight, and no one else, no other fighter. You know, Floyd Mayweather tried to come and do the super fight for his rematch against John Gotti III, and the commission said no. No one's gonna give him that spotlight because it's Teofimo's turn. But when you think about it, um, these people don't know me, you know, and I know how to. I've mastered one thing though. I'll tell you, Ariel. I should get a Grammy at the end of this. No, you know, I should get an Oscar. Not
Okay.
even an Oscar. I should get an Oscar after all this because if they want to call me crazy, then I'll definitely act crazy. If they want to call me insane, I'll definitely act insane. It's all, but does it mean that I am? Absolutely not. No, but you got to know how to work the medium, and how do you do that? Just always let them keep talking about you in different ways. There's no such thing as bad publicity. It's only bad when you get caught up with a DWI or a
Right.
DUI or anything like that. That's bad publicity. However, when you're doing stuff that people just talking about and stuff, it doesn't matter, man. They all talk. Look what I did. You know, I think it's just because people are scared to see my greatness. You
Okay.
know?
Because it's very rare to see pundits and journalists and fighters say this man shouldn't fight tonight. Like it was very
Mm,
vocal, and so I,
mm.
I was wondering if you saw any of that, and if you're able to say to us now that was all you just kind of playing an act just to get them to talk about the fight. Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
exactly what it is. You know, you never know what I'm gonna give these people. I might just freaking moon everybody come press conference. You know what I'm saying? You just never know what I'm gonna give him.
All right.
You
Fair
know,
enough.
it's because that's the beauty of it, is it not? I mean, like if anyone is watching this, any combat champion, any athlete, do what you want to do. You got them in your hand. They don't got you by the hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got them by your. You know what I'm saying? And it's like how you play them, they play themselves. So you got to play them. You know, that's all it is. And I love stuff like that. That lets me know that they don't want to see greatness. And that's kind of sad though. At the same time, isn't boxing about champion fighting the champion, just like what the MMA is doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Isn't the best fighting the best in that field?
Sure.
Aren't they, regardless win, lose, or draw, whether getting poked in the eye and they have to do a no decision? I mean, everyone is fighting, right? Why can't we fix it in the sport of boxing? If not, then I'll even pass the torch to the MMA side. Until then, I'm gonna hold on to it and I'm gonna say, well, let me see what I could do with this. Let me see how much one fighter could change his sport. And that's all about making boxing great again. I
Well,
can only do it for this year and see where we go.
Well, you seem to be in great spirits, in a great spot mentally, physically. It's great to see. I understand, and I'd love to ask you about this. Before this fight, before this camp started, you experimented with ayahuasca. Is that accurate? And if so, how did it impact you?
You know, it's pretty interesting because, like, prior to everything, you know, the Josh Taylor and all that, they never mentioned this ayahuasca stuff, right? But I've been doing ayahuasca for like years prior back.
Okay.
Yeah, I done that. I would say about like several times now.
Okay.
Ayahuasca. It's all about, you know, when it comes to ayahuasca, or I've done shrooms, ayahuasca. I don't smoke weed. I don't did a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? But no mollies, no X, no none of that other stuff. Um, but when it comes to ayahuasca stuff, it's just really cleaning out your chakras. We got 7 chakras in this. I should do it like this. But like we have 7 chakras. And in those 7 chakras, the ayahuasca is really purging you. And when we say purge, it's cleaning out all the bad toxicity and things that you have in you that you don't even know or notice. So sometimes when we have regret or resentment, that actually blocks a lot of our sacral, it blocks a lot of our root chakra, all these things. It's in connection, man. It's in conjunction. So what the ayahuasca does in that moment, it kind of humbles you when you take the ayahuasca. It's a little shot like this, you know, and it comes from the root. Mainly, some of it say that it's from the Amazon. Some say it's from, I believe, Peru. They have it. Colombia, they have it. So there's different areas you could get it. And with the ayahuasca, really, it just brought clarity to myself. It got me closer. And now the ayahuasca, you have to, well, see, I was around the natives at the time, and I was able to understand the ways they taught the white man to do it. So, however, the Americans, they did what they did, and so be. If you know your history, you know your history. So with the ayahuasca, though, it teaches you respect the fire. The fire is the main thing that keeps you energized. It gives you that energy in those moments when you're taking the ayahuasca, because you're going through another dimension. You're probably going through like 4D, 5D dimension. And in those moments you're experiencing different things. You're probably going through a shadow of events as a child that you had traumas with, so you might cry a lot. Then comes a point where you're going through a stage of of healing, and in that healing process you're purging, you're throwing up, or it's coming out two ways, either your mouth or your butt. It's coming out either
You're
one.
throwing up a lot. You're going crazy.
You're going crazy, and it sucks. And then they go for like, after 90 minutes of it all, they say, all right, guys, get up. We got to take another shot. And you're like, I don't want to experience this shit again. However, once you start something, at least for me, once I start something, I'm going to go and finish it. So, you go out there, you take another shot. But the other shot is not as bad. They give you some water in between just to maintain everything, and it's purifying you. But it's a great thing. I mean, if ayahuasca is coming around in your life, or some certain people are calling and telling you about ayahuasca, maybe it's time for you to go over there on that side and try it out.
Okay.
That's all I could say. But you got to go in there with an open mind. You can't go in there thinking that the universe and the stars are going to come right down to you. You just got to be open-minded about all those things, and don't fear anything. There are dark spirits that come through, especially during the witch hour. However, you just got to fight through it by chanting and singing and just being positive.
I love it. I would like to try it. I'm just wondering, I don't love throwing up. How long does all this last? Like, what do I need to block off here? The whole thing.
So, oh no, yeah. So we'll start around like 9:30 to 10 p.m. and we won't finish till like 7 in the morning. So you're up the whole time.
And then when do you start to feel better? Like the next day? Does it take a couple of days?
You start feeling better within like within like 3-4 hours of it.
Okay. And where did you do it?
And where I did it at was in Homestead, Florida.
Oh wow. You could do it in the States.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do it in the States.
You could So in the States, you could do it. There's a lot of native tribes out here. There's about more than like 7 of them, I believe. And they have some in Florida. They have some in Arizona. Some in Buffalo, New York.
Oh wow!
So you got some up there, yeah. So it's you got different places, So to the natives,
shout out.
They love me, man. They love me, man.
Does your father do it too?
My father, he had a little bit. He tried like some portion of it, but he didn't do the whole thing. My father's just more like, nah, fuck that shit.
I feel him on that.
But.
It's intense. It's intense. Before I let you go, Teofimo, obviously, don't want you to look past Jermaine, but there's a lot of big fights at 40. There's a lot of big fights at 47. What do you think? The next one, who do you think it's against? What are you feeling? I know there was talks of you and Ryan. It's just 40 and 47 is just like a freaking Shark Tank of big names, big money fights for you, and you should be in those fights. So what are you thinking? What are you feeling?
Well, to be honest, though, Ariel, I'll be honest with you, man. I try to make those fights happen prior to this fight with Jermaine Ortiz, man. And they waited for me to sign this contract with this kid. And once I did that, everybody started calling me out. It's a sad way to go. That's how I know these guys don't believe in themselves and they're not champions, so to speak. They don't aim for the tough fights. They aim for the fights that they least expect to lose in, and that sucks, It sucks for my sport. However, if you really wanted me to say, there's only one guy on my list, and that's on my hit list, and that's Terence Bud Crawford. I believe the reason why being so, we're only one weight class apart. He's the kingpin of the 147 division. I am the kingpin of the 140 division. So why not, right, Ariel?
That'd be
Shouldn't
great.
the best fight the best? However, I'm going to say it here. Terence Bud Crawford likes to go after guys that are not the same or they're injured. And I'll say right here, a lot of his fights that he has had, he has faced injured fighters. Now he wants to face someone. What are the chances of Saul Canelo Alvarez? Saul Canelo Alvarez is on a decline, whether Saul, if he likes it or not, it is the truth. He's had his rise. Now he's starting to depreciate. We can see it. He's getting heavier, getting hefty, real flat-footed. He's not as light as before. So who's going to want to jump on that? Terence Bud Crawford, because it looks good. He beats the face of boxing. However, you fought a guy that's on a decline. You know, Terence Crawford doesn't face, look, I mentioned it, Jose Benavidez. He was scared of Jose Benavidez. Couldn't even figure him out the first 5-6 rounds. However, he still did his thing. But the guy had a shot leg, literally. Okay, Errol Spence, he had his, what is it? His eye.
Yes.
I don't know how to say it, the cataract eye. Okay, situation. But we're talking about an Errol Spence that went through a car accident. We're talking about Errol Spence that went through situations in being in that weight class for so long at 147. A guy that goes up in between fights at 190. Okay. And then we got, who's the third one that I used to mention? Kell Brook, same thing with the eye. You know, and this guy thinks he's this big guy and the real guy, tough guy. Man, you're not a tough guy. You just fight soft guys that make it seem like they're tough guys just so that you could be the guy. But he's no guy, you know, and why can't you fight me? I'm fresh and I'm new and I'm clean. Why can't we fight? Why can't you shut up the young buck? You know what I'm saying? Why can't you shut up the young buck? And I'm Spanish too. I bet the black culture would love to shut this boy up. Come on now. Come on. And you know, racism still exists. Ain't that a bitch?
It is. I would love to see
ain't
it.
That a bitch?
And you and Bob all good, right? You had a heart to heart. You're on good terms, you and Bob Arum?
I love Bob Arum. No, we never had bad terms, to be honest. You know, I mean, it was his stepson, Todd DeBuff, that I had an issue with.
Okay.
You know, because he'll be the chairman after Bob goes. So it's his show now. It's him running the stuff. You know, him and his team and his family is what's gonna be top rank, not Bob Arum. You know, but me and him had to sit down prior to me signing this fight, prior to me talking about the Super Bowl, all these things. We had our talks, and I told him, and I'm gonna say it here because Ariel Helwani, everybody knows the MMA hour is the best hour.
That's
so
right. Thank you.
I'll say it right there, man. I told Bob Arum, you think these people care about you? Do you think these people? And I told him when we had our meeting, man, you could go back. I'll send you the photo too. We go back, and I tell him straight up, because I'm the type of person that my father taught me this way. Maybe it's because I'm breaded. I was born in New York. So maybe that's part of it. And people don't know how to take it sometimes. Well, boo-hoo. You know what I'm saying? Boo-hoo. You don't know how to take the truth. So I told Bob right there, because he's not really listening to me prior to all this. And then he has his man, Derek Harmon. It's only me, Derek Harmon, my father on the phone, and Bob Arum.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell him, and this is at the Four Seasons, which is not too far away from the Mandalay Bay. It's all in conjunction.
Yeah.
I tell him, I say, you think these people really care about you? I said, they waiting for you to die so that they can do whatever they want with your company. I said, and I know you. I said, I know you if I know one thing, because I know for myself, I wouldn't want that. I said, you built this company from 1966. You promoted the greats of Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, Rumble in the Jungle. You promoted freaking Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali, the century of the year, the fight of the century. I mean, you've done this and that and the third. You've done it all. You've actually had Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran face each other. That was No Mas, you know, part two. So all these things, I'm like, are you telling me before you go that you're okay with this? And he looked at me. And I could tell with those eyes, because they never lie. I don't care who it is. You know, eyes never lie. And I could tell in his head, he was like, I've been thinking about that my whole life, moving forward from this. However, I didn't know it was that noticeable. I mean, I was just like, yeah, it is. Pretty much. But he ain't telling me it like that, but I can see it in his eyes that he's been thinking about it. So what the man is going to do? Maybe before he dies, just like anybody else, probably going to want to fix his wrongs or his problems before, they go. It's part of life, right? Sometimes you ever have people call you on a deathbed and be like, I'm sorry what I did to you, because they know that at the end of it all, we all got to go to the Father and he judges us there. He'll go from there. You either go to heaven or hell, you figure that part out. But I wish nothing but the best for him. However, Bob Arum's a great man, done a lot of great fights. He will be missed. You know what I'm saying? And I have nothing against Bob Arum at all, or to Top Rank, nor to even Todd DeBuff. I think Todd DeBuff is a very intelligent individual. However, sometimes he may get sidetracked from his ego. It's okay though. You know what I'm saying? I'm still going through the process of my ego and soul. But I'm young and I'm trying to focus on more soul than ego. So with Todd and with Bob Arum, I wish them nothing but the best. The only reason why I'm gonna stick with Top Rank, to be real, is because of ESPN. They give me the best platform. They give me the better opportunities out there to establish myself the way I really want to, like a Walter Elias Disney. I really want to express myself in that way of the kids. So what better way than to do it with ESPN, who is signed by Disney?
Right.
Right.
Well, I can't wait to see you back. What a spot this is. Great idea on your part. I'm looking forward to it very much. Good luck to you. Great to talk to you as always, Teofimo. And hopefully we could do it again soon, my man.
Go, Power Rangers. Yeah, I'm like the White Ranger, man. F that. I'm the White Ranger. I only come once in the blue.
All right.
Never know.
Much love, much respect. There he is, the takeover. Teofimo Lopez returning to action on Thursday. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it very much. Hey, if you like this video, give us the old thumbs up. Subscribe as well. You could get many more of these videos on the channel, so please do that. We would love you forever if you did so.